Hello and welcome back to Bunnex Investment Group. So this video is titled How to Analyze the Markets Like a Market Maker. So it's basically application of the market maker methodology that we teach on this channel and in our private classes. So the first thing that you need are these EMAs, which are red, the 13 EMA in red, 5 EMA in yellow, 50 EMA in blue, the 200 EMA in white, and the 800 EMA in dark blue. Then this one is called the Traders Dynamic Index. It's basically a confirmation tool that we use when we are about to enter a trade. So however, these EMAs are not used to actually predict the market. Rather, they are used as confirmation tools, or actually as tools that simplifies how we see the market impulses whenever the market is going up or whenever the market is going down. So in this case, I'm going to start on pound against dollar. I'm just going to use two pairs as my examples in illustrating how to actually use this market maker method to predict or to anticipate where the market will move next. So this is the highest time frame available for me on MT4 platform. So on the monthly time frame, it's basically to derive the data point or a point where you start your analysis. So in this case, we may see that we had this very big drop, right, that actually came and had its consolidation. We had the market coming from this point going down, and after that we had this big consolidation, right? So whenever we have such big shooting drop, or I'd love to call it dropping knives, we would actually say the cycle was completed, right? Although we may not see clear impulsive segmentations, we may say the cycle was completed. Then after that, we can see 1, 2, 3, a well segmented move which was given, right? And its consolidation. So we had this well segmented move, therefore a cycle was completed, a cycle was completed. So in this case, we always anticipate to see a completion of a cycle or a 3-move cycle. So in this case, seeing on this higher time frame, we may say this pair is going to give us another drop. So this is what I will be anticipating to see the market coming back down to these levels, right? So right from there, we have anticipated, or we have attained what we call a datum. This is now the point that we now want to use in our smaller time frames. So going from that point, we now go to the lower time frame, in this case, which is the weekly time frame, right? On the weekly time frame, what can we see? We can actually see that from this point that we have termed the datum on the higher time frame, which is the monthly time frame, we have two impulses that have been issued, this being the first one and this being the second one, right? So we would love to know what is taking place in these impulsive moves 1 and 2. If you have been following this channel for quite a while, you'd know that in one weekly time frame level, we actually anticipate to see 3 daily time frame levels, and in one daily time frame level, we anticipate to see 3 H4 time frame levels, right? So this now is the daily time frame, and on the daily time frame, we have marked this impulsive drop on the weekly time frame. We now need to check if we have 3 levels of the daily time frame, right? So how do we check? We actually do it this way. We had the first impulsive drop like that, right? And its consolidation, right? Then in this case, this was an impulsive drop. Then we had another impulsive drop that did not break this low significantly. So it might we may actually say the drop was at this point. And then we had the last drop, which was this one. Therefore, we may actually deem this a completed cycle on the daily time frame. Then from there, we had this drop, right? The second drop, and then the last drop, like that. Therefore, we may see that this drop is not yet complete. So pound against dollar still has room to actually move or go down like that. So how can we actually verify that? We now need to go on the lower time frame. In this case, it's now the H4 time frame. In the H4 time frame, the first one that we've marked, we had a drop, consolidation, drop, consolidation, drop. We reached this point that we term a reset, right? From that reset, we had a drop, consolidation, a drop, pullback, a drop, right? Then now we have this consolidation and a drop, right? So for us to get an entry point, we now need to go down again on the H1 time frame. On the H1 time frame, we had first drop, consolidation, second drop, consolidation. So we are now anticipating to see the last drop of the market, right? In one H4 level, we anticipate to see 3 H1 levels like that, right? So before we move over to our next example, let me show you we have an indicator which actually simplifies how to get entries for those who are not able to count levels. These entries comes in this way. So this is USD against Japanese yen, right? So how they come is they actually come in they show the market maker M15 cycles, right? These signals are sent directly to your phone, and you just need to validate with one step. So this was a sell and it was sent directly to your phone. This was a buy, right? Buy, it was sent directly to your phone, and mind you, these do not repaint. So when they are sent, you only need to validate with one step, that is checking if 250 EMA crossover occurred in the previous day. Then this was a sale that was sent, and you could actually get your 30 pips, 45 pips, depending on the pair that you have entered. So this two is called the Portal FX indicator. I'll leave the link in the description box below so that you may check it out. So let's now move over to our second example. So as I've done earlier on, I started on the higher time frame to find the datum point. In this case, we can see that we had one consolidation, we had two consolidation, and three. Therefore, this was our datum point, or our point of analysis, or our starting point. We had 1, 2, 3. We expect to see a reset whenever this occurs, whenever a cycle is completed. So going on the lower time frame, this one is now the weekly time frame. There's no much data for us to see what is taking place. Therefore, we are allowed to go on the lower time frame, which is now the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, what can we see? We can actually mark levels with clarity. Here we had the first drop on the daily time frame, right? We had the second drop here, and then the third drop. Therefore, the cycle was complete, like this, right? From there, what happened? We know that after cycle completion, we expect to see a reset. So all these were pins to the reset point, right? and we can actually say this was a bound. So from that reset point, what can we say, or what can we see? We can see a very straight sharp drop like that. So it would be wiser for us to actually analyze this on the smaller time frame, which is the H4 time frame, to see what exactly was taking place in this drop, right? We are working towards getting an entry point. So on the H4 time frame, from this point, this is what we see. Let me use a different color so that it won't be confusing. Right, so we had one, we had two levels of drop on the H4 time frame, and we had the third one, which is this one, right? So we now need to verify what has been happening in this level of the H4 time frame to see if it has completed and we are moving towards a reset point of this H4 cycle. So going on the H1 time frame, let me use a different color. Right. So in this case, we may see that this was where the H4 level 3 started. Then within one H4 level, we expect to see 3 H1 levels. So this was a drop and its consolidation, another drop and its consolidation, and then we had, it was consolidation and pullback, and we had the last drop, right, reaching the low of that day. So what are we now anticipating? We can see on H4 time frame, right? We can see on H4 time frame that we require a reset point since this cycle is completed. So if we require a reset point on H1 time frame, we have more room for us to get a buy entry, right? So how are we going to have that? So the first thing that I would anticipate is on Monday, it's going to be a trip move, so that we'll have this move to the upside, or we may have a straight away to the upside. So if it's in that case, we now need to find patterns along that upside. So if you have the Portal FX indicator, if you find buy entries along this move, you are at a very big advantage, because you won't need to sit down and analyze the market. All you'll be looking for will be buys on the odd USD with ease. So this is how you would use this methodology. It's actually a very powerful methodology that one can apply, and we also teach one-on-one. If you want to know the exact secrets of this methodology, you may contact us using the link that I have left down in the description box below. On that note, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.